Let me hit you with a reality check. If you're still broke in 2025, it's not because you're unlucky. It's not because the economy's rigged. It's not your boss's fault. And it's definitely not because life handed you a bad deck of cards. The harsh truth? You're stuck in a cycle of habits that are silently draining your money, your time, and your potential. And the worst part? You probably don't even realize it's happening. But today, we're breaking that pattern. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to expose the real reasons you're still broke, and more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix them, starting right now. So let's get into it. Most people think being broke is a money problem. Like if they just had a better job or a bigger paycheck, everything would be fine. But here's what nobody tells you. Being broke is actually a mindset problem. Because if money was the real issue, everyone making six figures would be wealthy. And we both know that's not true. I've seen people making $100,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, stressed about money every single day. And I've also seen people making $40,000 a year building wealth, investing, and creating financial freedom for themselves. So what's the difference? It's not the income. It's the habits. It's the daily behaviors that you repeat without even thinking about them. The patterns that feel normal but are actually keeping you trapped. And the crazy part? Most of these habits seem harmless. They feel comfortable, but that's exactly why they're dangerous. So let's talk about the first habit that's keeping you broke. And this one's going to sting a little. You're addicted to instant gratification. Let's be real for a second. The reason Amazon makes billions, the reason DoorDash exists, the reason Netflix keeps you up until 3 in the morning, it's because we want everything now. Same-day shipping, food delivered in 10 minutes, entertainment with zero wait time, dopamine on demand. And look, I'm not judging. We all do it. But here's the problem. When you train your brain to expect instant rewards all the time, saving money feels boring. Investing for 10 years sounds impossible. Building wealth slowly sounds like torture. Your brain literally gets rewired to crave quick hits. So when you think about putting money away for 5 years, your brain says, that's too far away. I can't feel that reward right now. Let's buy something instead. And that's how you stay broke. Rich people have figured out something that broke people haven't. They've learned to trade short-term pleasure for long-term freedom. They'll skip the fancy dinner today because they know that money could turn into 10 fancy dinners in 5 years. Broke people do the opposite. They take the pleasure now and deal with the consequences later. So here's the fix, and it's stupidly simple. Every time you want to make a purchase that you don't absolutely need, wait 48 hours. Just 2 days. Set a reminder on your phone. If you still want it after 48 hours, go ahead and buy it. But here's what's going to happen. Most of the time, you're not going to want it anymore. That impulse fades, and you just saved yourself money without even trying. Now let's talk about the second habit. And this one's uncomfortable because it's about the people closest to you. You're surrounded by broke people. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, are you telling me to ditch my friends? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is this. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. If everyone around you is broke, you're going to absorb their habits without even realizing it. It's not intentional. It's not malicious. It's just how human behavior works. Think about it. If your friends spend every weekend blowing money at the club, ordering bottle service they can't afford, buying clothes to flex on Instagram, what do you think you're going to end up doing? You're going to do the same thing. Because that's the behavior that's normalized in your circle. If your family constantly complains about money but never does anything to change their situation, that becomes your blueprint. That becomes what feels normal to you. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. Broke people will actually discourage you from trying to get ahead. Not because they're bad people, but because your success makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their own choices. So when you try to start a side hustle, they'll tell you it's a waste of time. When you want to invest, they'll say it's too risky. When you stop going out every weekend to save money, they'll call you boring. And if you're not careful, you'll listen to them. Because fitting in feels safer than standing out. But here's the fix. You don't need rich friends. You just need growth-oriented friends. People who push you. People who motivate you. People who hold you accountable when you're slipping. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, that's okay. Your first millionaire mentor can be a book. Your first accountability partner can be a podcast. Your first community can be online. The point is, you need to change your environment before your environment changes you. All right, third habit, and this one's critical in 2025. You depend on one income source. Let me be blunt. If your only income is a job, you're in a dangerous position. Not because jobs are bad, but because you've given all your financial power to one entity. Your boss controls your paycheck. Your company controls your schedule. The economy controls your job security. You're not in control of anything. And when something goes wrong, layoffs, health issues, company restructuring, you're completely exposed. No safety net, no backup plan, just panic. Now, compare that to someone with multiple income streams. They got their job, sure, but they've also got a freelance gig on the side. Maybe they're selling a digital product. Maybe they're investing and earning dividends. Maybe they've got rental income. When one stream dips, the others keep them afloat. They're not scrambling. They're not desperate. They're protected. Rich people understand this. That's why they diversify. Broke people put all their eggs in one basket and pray nothing breaks. So here's the fix, and you need to start today. Build additional income streams. Start small. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You don't need to become an entrepreneur overnight. Just start somewhere. Freelance your skills. Start an online business. Create a digital product. Learn to invest. Build something skills-based that generates money outside your 9-to-5. And don't chase fast money. Don't fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Build reliable money. Build sustainable income that compounds over time. Because in 2025, depending on one income source isn't just risky. It's financial suicide. Now, fourth habit. And this one's going to expose you real quick. You don't track your spending. Let me ask you something. Right now, without looking at your bank account, can you tell me exactly how much you spent last month? Can you tell me where that money went? Down to the dollar? If the answer is no, that's your problem right there. Because if you don't track your money will disappear. It's that simple. Most people have no idea where their paycheck actually goes. They just hope there's something left at the end of the month. They spend $20 here, $30 there. Coffee, lunch, subscriptions they forgot about, impulse purchases on Amazon. And by the time the month's over, the money's gone and they don't even know how it happened. It's like trying to lose weight without tracking your calories. You can guess, you can hope, but you're probably going to fail. Tracking your spending is uncomfortable. I get it, because once you start tracking, you have to face reality. You have to see all those little purchases that don't feel like a big deal, but add up to hundreds or thousands of dollars every month. That daily coffee? That's $1,500 a year. Those subscription services you barely use? That's hundreds more. That treat yourself mentality every weekend? That's thousands. And I'm not saying you can't spend money on things you enjoy. That's not the point. The point is, you need to be aware. You need to know where your money's going so you can decide if it's worth it. So here's the fix. Track your spending for 30 days. Just 30. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, use a notebook. I don't care. Just write down every single dollar you spend for 1 month. And I promise you, it will be the most eye-opening month of your financial life. You're going to see patterns you didn't know existed. You're going to realize you're bleeding money in areas you thought were fine. And once you see it, you can fix it. Fifth habit. And this one hurts because I know some of you are going to feel personally attacked. You're learning, but you're never doing. Let me ask you something. How many videos have you watched about money? How many podcasts have you listened to? How many books have you started about investing, saving, building wealth? And now let me ask you this. What have you actually done? Have you opened that investment account? Have you started that budget? Have you taken one real action toward building wealth? Because if you've consumed 100 hours of content but haven't taken a single step forward, you don't have a knowledge problem. You have an action problem. And this is a trap so many people fall into. They binge financial advice like it's entertainment. They watch video after video. They take notes. They nod along. They feel motivated for like 10 minutes. And then they do nothing because learning feels productive. Learning feels like progress. But it's not. Not if it doesn't lead to action. You know what's better than watching 100 videos about investing? Opening a brokerage account and putting in $50. That's it. That's more valuable than all the research in the world. Because once you take that first action, you're in the game. You're learning by doing. You're building momentum. And momentum is what actually creates change. So here's the fix. One small action per day beats 100 hours of motivation. Pick one thing, just one, and do it today. Open that savings account. Set up automatic transfers. Delete that shopping app. Cancel that subscription. Apply for that side gig. One action. That's all you need to start breaking the cycle. All right, sixth habit. And this one's about ego. You're living for other people's opinions. Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Most people are broke because they're trying to look rich. New shoes every month. New phone every year. New car they can't afford. Designer clothes. Fancy restaurants. Expensive vacations. Zero savings. And why? Because they're performing. They're trying to prove something to people who don't even care. You're working yourself into the ground, stressing about money, living paycheck to paycheck, so strangers on the internet can think you're doing well. So your coworkers can be impressed. So your high school friends can see that you made it. But here's the thing, nobody actually cares. The people you're trying to impress, they're not even thinking about you. They're too busy trying to impress other people. It's all a game that nobody wins. Meanwhile, the people who actually build wealth, they drive old cars. They live in modest houses. They don't care what anyone thinks. Because they're not building an image. They're building freedom. They'd rather have $1 million in the bank than look like they have $1 million. And that's the difference. So here's the fix. Stop trying to impress people who don't even think about you. Stop buying things you don't need with money. You don't have to impress people you don't like. Use your money to build freedom, not an image. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is your own. Now, let's talk about how to actually fix this. Because awareness is step one, but action is everything. If you want to stop being broke, you need to start doing the opposite of broke people. It's that simple. Broke people chase instant gratification. You need to delay it. Train yourself to wait. Build the muscle of patience. Because every time you resist an impulse purchase, you're literally rewiring your brain for wealth. Broke people surround themselves with negativity and low standards. You need to protect your environment. Distance yourself from people who drain you and find people who elevate you, even if that means being alone for a while. Broke people depend on one income. You need to build multiple streams, even if it's just $50 a month from a side gig at first. Start somewhere. Build leverage. Create options for yourself. Broke people have no idea where their money goes. You need to track every dollar. Know your numbers. Control your cash flow. Because you can't manage what you don't measure. Broke people consume content endlessly without taking action. You need to do the opposite. Less learning, more doing. One action per day. That's the standard. Broke people spend money to look successful. You need to spend money to become successful. Invest in yourself. Invest in assets. Invest in skills. Build real wealth, not a fake image. This isn't complicated. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need a six-figure income. You just need discipline. You need consistency. You need to be willing to do what's uncomfortable now so you can live comfortably later. And here's the thing nobody tells you. The hardest part isn't learning what to do. The hardest part is doing it when no one's watching. When your friends are out spending money and you're at home building. When everyone's flexing on Instagram and you're quietly investing. That's the real test. That's where most people fail. Because being broke is easy. It's a default. It requires no effort. You just keep doing what you've always done and you'll stay exactly where you are. But building wealth? That requires intention. That requires sacrifice. That requires you to go against the grain and be okay with people not understanding. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be uncomfortable at first. You're going to feel like you're missing out. You're going to feel like everyone else is having fun and you're stuck grinding. But let me tell you what happens after a year. After 2 years. After 5 years. Those same people who were partying and spending, they're still broke. Still complaining. Still stuck. But you've got savings. You've got investments. You got options. You got freedom. And suddenly, all that sacrifice makes sense. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one habit from this video. Just one. And commit to changing it for the next 30 days. Maybe it's the 48-hour rule for purchases. Maybe it's tracking your spending. Maybe it's starting a side income stream. Maybe it's cutting off people who drain you. Whatever it is, start today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because here's the truth. Being broke is temporary. Staying broke is a choice. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to repeat the same patterns. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life. You can change. You can build something better. You can create the financial freedom you've been dreaming about. But it starts with you. It starts with a decision. It starts with one small action that leads to another and another until you're living a completely different life. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep doing what you've always done? Or are you going to break the cycle? The choice is yours. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button. And if you want more content on money mindset, financial freedom, and building real wealth, subscribe to the channel. Because we're just getting started.